friends, it's Miss Haley with Shine. Today we're going to go over week 2 of our Bible. You know, right now, a lot of people are looking at what's happening around the world. People are getting sick, churches and schools are closing. All the businesses around us are having a difficult time. They are all worried. Being worried is just a natural thing. But if you're a friend of Jesus, there's something you can do with your worry, because Jesus' power calms our worries. We'll explore that in a minute, but first, let's talk about this past week's good sightings. Where have you seen God provide for you? Where has He been busy working in your world? For example, I got to start back to work this week. So I was so excited about that, and that was one less worry that I had to deal with. So at this time, we're going to pause so you can have a discussion about what worries you have had. Thanks for sharing. Those are all some great things to be worried about. Not really great, but you know what I mean. How do you handle worry? Well, these kids have a pretty good idea. How about you get on your feet and let's join them? We're going to pause at this time and click down in the comments for your music video. Ready? Let's go! Wow, that was fun and exciting. What a great song to remind us about Jesus' power calms our worries. The world seems worried about the coronavirus, about jobs, and so many other things. What are you hearing that we should be worried about right now? Write or draw the things you're hearing people worry about. One thing on each piece of paper. Make a whole bunch of them. So pause this video so you can do that for me, please. Thanks. Now talk about these. What do you usually do when you get worried? As for me, I pray to God and I just ask Him to take the worry away and to calm my nerves. Pause the video as you talk about what you do when you worry. And as you talk, crumble up the papers you wrote on. Ready? Tell your family what you do usually when you worry. There was a guy in the Bible who trusted Jesus, but then started to worry and things didn't go so well. If you want to follow along in your Bible, look up Matthew 14:22 through 23, or in the Beginner's Bible, it's on page 364. Jesus told His disciples to go on ahead. Then Jesus walked on the mountainside to pray. Storm clouds filled the sky. Jesus could see the disciples in the boat. They were having trouble. The wind swooshed and the waves sloshed. The boat was tossed about. Suddenly, the disciples saw someone walking on the water towards them. They thought it was a ghost. Jesus called out to them, "It is I. Do not be afraid." The disciples still weren't sure. Peter said, "If you really are Jesus, let me walk out to you." Jesus replied, "Come." Peter stepped out of the boat and he began to walk on the water towards Jesus. Then Peter looked at the winds and the wave. He became afraid. Suddenly he started to sink. "Lord, save me," Peter cried. Jesus reached out and pulled Peter up. "Why didn't you trust me?" Jesus asked Peter. They climbed into the boat and the storm stopped. The disciples worshiped Jesus. They said, "Truly, you are the Son of God." Pick one of you now to pretend to be Peter. Pause. Get someone, okay? Peter, stand up and look across the room. We're going to pretend that you are looking where Jesus is waiting for you. You're going to step out of the boat and take a step up and over and stand on the water. Now, take a step towards Jesus. Keep your eyes on him, and now another step. Everyone else, as Peter begins to walk, throw all your paper of worries towards him. Pause the video and everybody take a turn being Peter. That's like what happens to Peter. He looked around and he saw the wind and the waves, and he got worried, and he worried he would drown. He took his eyes off Jesus, and the worry started distracting him. Once Peter took his eyes off Jesus and paid more attention to his worries than Jesus, he began to sink into the ocean. But Jesus grabbed Peter up by the arm and he saved him. Here's a question for you to talk about. What happened as you tried to walk across the room and the papers kept hitting you? Out of all the things you could be worried about, what's the one worry most of all? How is that distracting you from Jesus? Thank you for sharing. If your worries sometimes distract you from Jesus, you're just like Peter, but you can never learn the same lesson he did. Jesus' power calms worry. All right, you guys, it's science time. Let's try a fun experiment that shows how Jesus' power calms our worries. You'll need a few things: a bowl of water, pepper, and some dish soap. So pause this video so you can go and get these items, and we'll be right back. First, let's look at your bowl. It's clean and empty. We're going to add our clear water to it. But then, worries start sprinkling in. And a few more. And soon worries are all we see. Hey, the pepper reminds me of the waves that Peter saw on the water. We have a lot of worries coming at us right now. So how can we make those worries run away from us instead? You can try to clean out on your own, but look what happens. Stick your finger in the bowl, and then just the pepper sticks to you. So do this instead. Wipe off your finger and then put some dish soap on it. That's like keeping your eye on Jesus. Then put your finger back in the worries. Jesus doesn't just have power over wind and waves. He has power over our worries too. He has the power over coronavirus. When we keep our eyes on Jesus, our worries stop bombarding us. Jesus' power calms our worries. Pause me and discuss this. What would help keep your eyes on Jesus during the worrying times? All right, so now we're at the closing, you guys. Jesus' power calms our worries if we keep our eyes on him. Do this. Take someone's hand and pray for that person by name to keep their eyes on Jesus during this season of worry. Awesome prayer, you guys. Now when this video ends, you can draw either a cross a heart, or something else that reminds you of Jesus in your thankfulness journal. Thank Him for calming your worries through the week. Put today's date on the page and keep adding to your journal throughout the week as you see more of God's sightings. See you next week.